Okay, we're going live. My name is Rory Callahan, and this is tip number 10. And what I'd love to do is just do a quick little recap with you all because we've had a big 10 days. And for those that don't know, we were launching the Health Impact Awards. So I'm not sure if you're someone that follows the global goals for sustainable development, but there's 17 key sustainable development goals that we want to tick off before 2030, and I guess that's within our generation. And these are things that can be achieved. And things like any extreme poverty, it's good water and sanitization for just basic human needs, everyday people, quality education, basic human rights on every single level, plus good health and well-being, which at the moment 1 in 2 people are living with a chronic preventable disease. That's 4 billion people in the world right now, or about 3.6, and the other 45% are living with some level of dysfunction. So, that's from like mental health issues, physical like ailments, back pain, knee pain, plus digestive issues, plus every myriad of everything in between, which leaves 5% of people that are actually living in, say, good health and well-being, and 1% that are living in blue zones, like in Okinawas and places like that in Japan. So my 10th tip is about freeing our time and location. The first 5 steps were personal. It was about self-care, it was about filling our own cup, it was about serving from overflow. The next 5 steps was about impact and influence, and how we can do that in a way that where we have like a meaningful social impact. And a measurable impact as well, because I think the big thing is that there's a lot of NGOs, social enterprises, not-for-profits, and conscious enterprises that are doing really cool things, but we're doing it at the collateral damage of ourselves, the people we care about, our communities, or the health and natural environments that we live in. So when I talk about conscious enterprises and things like that, I'm talking about people that are abundant and they're good at what they do, whether you're a coach or an allied health professional, whether you're a cafe, a business owner, or whether you're anything in between, or even those large-scale enterprises that are mining for lithium for solar panels and things like that. There is an ecology to everything that we do. And I guess what we're chatting about is finding that balance. So the 10th tip is about freeing our time and location individually, but also as businesses. So, little story. When I decided to base myself in Bali, I was sitting at a cafe just like this. I'm sitting at Van's Cafe in Cottesloe. This is one of my friends' businesses. It's brick and mortar. Been here for 20 years, and this thing runs like a machine. It's a beautiful thing. That the customer service, everything's amazing, right? But when you get to know how a brick and mortar business works, you start to realize that it doesn't free your time. It doesn't free your location because it's brick and mortar, right? And we've all got, a lot of us have traditional businesses and brick and mortar businesses. So imagine if you could, and obviously you can't run a cafe in the sky, you can't run it in the virtual world. However, you can provide a service from that space, right? So when I was sitting in a cafe in Bali, I looked around, I'm sitting around, all these different people, and there's guys in their 40s and 50s, there's 18-year-old kids. And I just got curious one day and I started sitting next to all of them, and just as I was, playing on the computer and just working from my laptop, I was doing health professional stuff virtually like this, and helping people and supporting people move up the health spectrum like this, linking them with products and services like this, right? And I can get better outcomes now through tuning people into these communities. And I was kind of getting in that, one-on-one physical thing, doing like, physical treatments for people. And I find that really interesting because it's very empowering to do it like this. But when I was chatting with these guys, I was chatting with an 18-year-old kid, and I was like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just on Instagram and been like doing some marketing and things like that." And I was like, "Oh, cool." Assumption was 18-year-old kid, he's just an Instagram influencer with like 100,000 followers or whatever it is. He probably does backflips and things. And he showed me his phone. And it was like, got his profile. It turns out his Instagram stuff wasn't even, it wasn't like in that influencer status. And I was like, "So what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, well, I just created these online programs and, tuned into the crypto world." He like forward thinking, saw that the financial system was changing and invested in cryptocurrencies, Bitcoins and stuff. And he made a bucket load of money. And he was like, "Yeah, I kind of made like, in the realm of like 5 to 10 mil last year, just, through trading and this type of stuff." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "We talking rupiah or are we talking like real money?" And he's like, "Oh, real money." And he got into it at a stage where his stuff just exponentially increased. And then he created online systems to teach other people how to do it, which then created an online coaching business on top of his investments. And this thing just multiplied and magnified and blew itself up. So now he's sitting there as an 18-year-old kid, and, he's probably got more abundance than he ever needs, wants, and desires, because he was able to think outside the box. Now, the other thing is, there's another guy sitting on the other side of the room, 40-year-old dude, and, sitting there in board shorts, and, same thing. like the normal assumptions pop up. It's like, all right, well, what does this guy do? And, I saw him jump on his surfboard, go down, have a surf, and then kind of come back like 2 or 3 hours later. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I don't know, like this guy seems like he's doing something cool. And again, sat down with him, had a conversation, and it turns out he's got like a marketing business. He used to have a brick and mortar, like media agency and marketing business in Sydney. And what he decided to do is get a distributed workforce. So he had people from all around the world working from remote locations and consulting to his business, but not working in his business. They're kind of like working as employees. They've got their own, well, not employees, they're consultants. They've got their own like ABN or tax numbers and things like that. But he'd pay them consulting fees to help build his business, his brand, his energy, and call them for different stages of business. And it was really cool because he had his time. He was generating a lot more, like he reckons 10 times the income that he was when he was working in his business in Sydney. And also he had the fun of, being an island where there was a lot of videographers, a lot of content and a lot of waterfalls and things like that. And, the coolest thing was it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday and he just gone for a surf for 3 hours and then kind of go back to work. So the key thing I'm kind of sharing here is that we can free our time and our location if we start thinking outside the box. One, we have to leverage technology. One, we have to look at partnerships. And one, we have to look at systems and finding ways to really add our value to this virtual space and help people solve problems from wherever we are in the world, right? So just want to share that we can free our time, we can free our location. As a physio, I actually did something that is completely backwards, and I went and partnered with a network marketing company. Shared economy, circular economies, they're like their health and wellness version of Uber and Airbnb. And these guys just had these natural whole food supplements. They had intermittent fasting. They had all these Ayurvedic and Chinese tonics and things, and like these plant-based smoothies. And I was like, I used it, I loved it. And then I just helped them have a bigger impact. That created an income that freed my time, freed my location, which then allowed me to self-fund my own business, my own startup, and my own, like, have the time to write a book and have that creative space and that breathing space to do the next thing. Now, if I'd gone back and done a brick and mortar business when I was 25, 26, I'd probably still be in that brick and mortar business and like making that thing work and forcing it to work with 5 or 10% margins. But when I partnered with this networked enterprise, my overheads were like $3,000 a year. I had to eat my overheads. I had to build my own brand. I had to find out a way to help them have a bigger impact and influence. They already had social proof. They already had a really cool thing. And they just shared 50% of what came into their business back to the people that helped them build it. And I was one of them. So, and then I just look at this and I'm like, there's so many ways that we can leverage. Now, last step was about leverage, guys. So hopefully there's enough in that to give you some ideas about how to leverage your value to, I guess, free your time and location. But also know that, you can set up a brick and mortar business and systemize it so it runs without you. And you can go and travel and live your life. And obviously you can, consult remotely. And like, rather than doing your meetings kind of like imagine you had a cafe and rather doing your meetings in your cafe, you can do virtual meetings from anywhere in the world. And you can set up a cafe here. You could do one in Sydney. You could do one in London. You could do it wherever, right? So don't be limited by the traditional way of thinking. Just be open to that. There's so many ways to do it. And, if you've got your values and what you love, you've got that alignment, that sense of purpose that Akai guy sorted, and, you found a way to create some abundance and serve from overflow, then, the world's your oyster. And I guess you can teach other people how to do that as well. So big love, guys. What I want to do just before I shoot off is I'm big on transparency. So we have the awards. That's almost something different, but we have the awards for the Health Impact Award, which is coming up. So I want to share this. We've got a package to give away. So someone who wants to have a big impact in the world and help us actually make an impact on the global development goals for sustainable development, specifically around good health and well-being. So we've got people like Paul Dunn, who's created a platform with 184 million giving impacts. In the past, we've had mentors like Chef Cynthia Louise. They got 100,000 plus followers, online courses, systems. We've also had people like Tyler Tolman come in and share his value to the space, and he's created retreats that have impacted thousands of people. So we've got models for all these ways to create a bigger impact, and you can apply it to whatever you're good at and whatever you do. You could be a spiritual coach, a life coach. You could be a surgeon, a doctor, an allied health professional. Whatever it is, we can find ways to do it. The system's there. So we're on Friday at 10 a.m. We're going to be giving away one prize, one position to the right person. And this is in partnership with Entrepreneur Resorts. There's someone that helped me about 3 or 4 years ago and helped me get the systems and processes, from proof of concept to brand attraction to marketing connections to creating licensable systems to then duplicating it defining key partnerships. They got an entrepreneur network of 500,000 people. So you're tuning into their networks as well. And I guess if you think about it in the context of whatever you're doing, these guys know how to help you help 10 people or 100 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people, all the way up to 500 to a million people, or even 184 million impacts like what Paul Dunn has got. So the whole point is, like, be a fish in water. You have these amazing mentors around you. One person's going to win it. So good luck to, I think we've had close to 209 applicants. And the cool thing about this, Australia's a big one, but we've also got China, India, we've got USA, we've got Canada, we've even got areas of Europe and also Africa as well, and South America. So Indonesia, Japan's even in it. So, this is truly a global impact award, and I look forward to seeing whoever wins it. Good luck, and tune in here live at 10 a.m. on Friday. Also know that we have, I think we've still got 10 hours to go. So if you haven't already, put in your application. All you have to do is share these things. What's your name? What's your email? What do you want? What area of genius can you help utilize to have a bigger impact? What is the one thing holding you back from achieving your goals? And also that big dream, that big vision. And we're a community where anything is possible. We don't believe in limitations or ceiling effects. And if you have limiting beliefs, as soon as you're immersed in this space, you probably won't have them for much long after. And the thing is, we're not really problem focused either. So if you have a challenge to overcome, there is a strategy or way to do it. But it might mean that you need to be self-empowered and you need to be inspired to figure out how to do it. And it might be one of those conversations at a cafe. So big love, guys. Just wanted to share that with you. That's the final tip for these 10 tips. Good luck. And I look forward to, hanging out with the winner in Bali in October. And also, I think there's some secondary prizes as well. So even if you don't win it, we're going to give $2,000 for 10 people, I think. Yeah, 10 people off the iLab. So even if you just want to come and immerse yourself and have a small investment in your business so that you can work on your business, set it all up, come back, run a successful promotion, then we can help you with that too. And hang out in Bali for 15 days. We've got the Karamas surf break down the road, so you can do that. Bit of yoga, bit of strength and conditioning as well. Get Chef Cynthia Louise's food every single day, and I'll be there hanging out, facilitating the space with you. So this is really cool, guys. Big love and good luck to whoever wins it, and chat soon. Feel free to reach out and keep following the story as well, because we're gonna share all this stuff live. All right.